Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 15, which is about the difference between a super or sudo user and a normal or regular user. Also in this chapter you will learn how to view user account information. Okay, so if you have here, as we mentioned, that from here you can get a lot of information, and this is the name of the user that is currently using the system, and this is the local host. This is at, and means that the user is now at this machine, and this is tilde. This tilde is for the home directory, and the dollar sign is about a regular user. So now currently this user is a normal user. If I would like to switch to a super user, then I use sudo, and then I have to enter a password. Okay, so sudo su, and as you can see now there is another user here. The name of the user is now root, and the root is under and using this computer, and now currently this user, which is the root, under the home directory of this user. Okay, so if I would like to return back to the normal user, I type exit, and now I return back to the normal user. Also, you can see the hash, this sign, the hashtag. It means that this is a root. This is a super user. This is a normal user. Okay. So if we type now, let's return back to sudo and the super user, and then I type ID. Then the user ID for the root is always 0. Okay, so the user ID for the root is always 0. This is the it is in most of all the Linux systems, and there is the group ID that this user belongs to, and there is also another group which is called root. Okay, so exit again, and I return back to the normal user, and I also type ID, and as you can see now, this is not a super user, this is not a root, and the user ID is 0, and this is the group that this user belongs to. This is also the groups, and here are the groups, and so this user is in a group ADM, this one also in Docker, and so on. Okay, so this is what I have done, and let us see the content of the file called shadow, which is under the etc. This file contains information about the users in the system. So if I take it and try to see the content of this file, which is under etc, and I use the head, which is just a command that I can view the first few lines of 5 lines by default from a file, and then I will go with the error says, standard error says, okay, there is a permission denied. Okay, let me see why is permission denied. So I'm going to use ls -l. So I list the information about this file. And as you can see here, this file is owned only by the root user. And currently I am not the root. So only the root user can see the content of this file. Okay, so to solve this, I have to switch to root, or I just can type sudo in front of the command. So sudo here, and then I managed to see the content of the file, because now I run this command as a user, as a root user with a super user. Okay, so this is what I am talking about, and here let's learn how you learn about the account information and the files and the commands that display user account information. Okay, so the first one is to see the account information from the password. Okay, let's try to see this. And it is the head. This is not the shadow. This shadow only accessed by the root user, but the password is not important. So it does not need a super user. And here you can see there is a user called root. There is another user also called mail, news, and man, and so on. Okay, so let's try to um, see the name. So I think you are asking why there is a user called with this name. Why it's not here? Because this is head. By default, we see a few lines from the file, but this file is very huge. I can use it with more. And you can see this file is a huge one. So let me only search about a user called this one or this one. So I can use grep command, and I say I want this user from this file. And as you can see, here is the command. There is the line that this is the user. Here is the place of the password for the user. It's connecting to another file. And this is the user ID and the group of the ID that the user belongs to. And this is the home directory of this user. And this is the bash or the bin or the terminal location. Okay, so now let's see the etc shadow. This file in the previous one we saw etc password. Now we see etc shadow. This file contains information about user's password. In this exercise, you will learn several commands to view the data in this file. Okay, so if you use this one, as we mentioned, like this, then you will get an error permission denied. To the shadow, you need to have a super user. This is what I have mentioned. And here is with the sudo, and here you will get the information about this command. Also, there is another command called getent password and username. So you have two options. The first one is to use sudo shadow, etc shadow, and here also you can use grep, and here is the user, and here is the password, the location of the password, or it's encrypted. But also there is another one. So this is one solution, and there is another solution that you can use getent, and then you type password, and then you give the name of the user. You can see you've got the same, or you can also refer to a shadow. However, let's fix and stay with the content of this output. So the first one is representing the name of the user. The second one is the password placeholder. It's not a password, but it's a password placeholder. And then we have a user ID, this one. And then we have a group primary ID. And then we have a comment if there is something written here, for example, a user or administrator or anything. And then we have a home directory of this user, and then we have the shell for this user. Okay, let's do this. And then let's try to do the same. And then let's now type the root. As you can see, this is the root, this is the user, this is the password placeholder, this is the ID, which we mentioned that always should be 0. Okay, let's return back. And let's move forward. Also, you can get information about the output from man5 password. We already explained what does it mean 5 here in one of the previous videos in part 1 from this course. Please see the videos in the beginning of this playlist. Alright, so also we have an ID we already mentioned here. I already did this practice at the beginning of this video. And here also we can get information about who is currently in the system. So who is a command to get a current list of the users in the system, and this is the output of it. The first one is the user ID. The second one is the console. This means that I'm using the command line interface, and then there we have the date of like this column indicate when the user logged in into the system. So I logged in around 6 p.m. Okay, so also there is another command called only w, and this w command uh, used to get more detailed view about the user who are currently in the system. Currently, I'm only the one who is using the system, but imagine if you have a server and inside the server there are many users, then you will see who are currently logged in into the system. If you are having a Linux server for a project and there are many colleagues working on the project, then at the current time you will see who are currently logged in and what time they are logged in. All right, so also there is another command called last, which shows the information from var log wtemp file, which keeps a log of all users who have logged in and out from the system. So if I take last here, and as you can see here, you have all information about users. So actually this is only a user, only me inside this system. So you can see, okay, let's do this command again, which is last. And this is currently the current user and the time, still logged in, and he crashed, and you can get more information from here. And uh, last command views the information from this file, which is under var, under the root, under var, under log, under wtmp. Do not forget, everything in Linux is about is in everything is written in a file. Your task is to know how to reach this file and what type of information can be extracted from this file. Thank you very much and keep learning, and I will see you in the next video.